All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got one of the senators up there today talking about the problems that we're going to be having in America with housing development, banks, and real estate agents and people. We're not bailing them out this time. And let me tell you something, Trump. I want my property back. I want my house back, my two race cars, my truck, and my property and house, and 50 mil on top of that for my troubles and time and pain and suffering. Now, we're going to watch Congress and Senate speak here about this problem coming in America.
President, and congratulations and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
That we just passed a housing bill with 89 senators in favor of it. This is a bill about increasing supply, and anybody who wants to try to block this bill is going to have to explain to the American people why they don't want to see us build more housing and have that housing in the hands of homeowners to make that happen. So thank you very much, Mr. President, for all you've done and for your leadership to get us here.
Let me tell you why they don't want to do it, little lady, Miss Warren. Oh boy, Epstein opened his mouth and told the world that no matter what, the government was guaranteed a loan. So the banks screwed a lot of people, drove them crazy, and drove them out of their house. They got the property, plus they got cash on top of it from the government. It was a guaranteed loan. They couldn't lose. They couldn't lose. We're going to let Miss Warren talk. And it seems like me and the two-party system are going to have to get this job done because we're not bailing them out, Trump. They let these houses go dilapidated. They kicked people out of their homes because they were fraudulent mortgages. The paperwork was no good. People were paying balloon mortgages. They were supposed to be fixed. People had fixed mortgages, but they turned out to be balloon. Right? We're going to get to the bottom of this, Mr. Trump. We are going to get to the bottom of it. And I'm going to get my money out of your asses.
Our nation is in a full-blown housing crisis.
Not yet.
Across rural communities, small towns, suburban neighborhoods, and major cities, home prices are sky high. Rent is through the roof. And just last year, the median age of a first-time home buyer hit 40 years old. Housing is the single biggest purchase that most Americans will make in their lifetimes, but it is far more than that. Owning a home means building economic security. It's the number one retirement plan for families across the country. Pay off your home and live on your Social Security. It helps people have the financing to start small businesses in their communities. And it is the main asset that families can pass down from one generation to the next.
Well, Miss Elizabeth, you're right about that, little sweetie. But being that we live in a country where the banks are racist and discriminate, it's hard for anybody to get a loan. Now, what do I think the American people should be getting? I think the American people should be getting no money down loans. That's what I think the American people, the ones that have been flipping the bill for everything. I think the American people, the citizens, the retards, that's what these government people and everybody calls me. No money down loans. Walk in and why do I say that? Because you got a housing, you got You got a problem because you got people that don't have nowhere to live, but yet you got these houses that could have been sold to some of these people, and the banks would have got money income being generated. Instead, they let that house sit there and it's dilapidated. Now, of course, they want $250,000 for the house. Is it worth it? Hell no. It's all a racket, boys. It's a scam. But did they sell that house to somebody that wanted? Did they take a loss on it to at least get money coming in on it? No, they sat on it. No, it's a piece of shit home, and now they want $250,000 just for the. It's the property. The house is useless because they refuse to sell it and take a loss, and they're creating it. They're creating our homeless. They're creating our bank situation, and it's going to collapse, folks. We're not bailing them out. Not again. Same thing with your vehicles. That's going to drop out from under you. Why? Because they're so stupid they can't figure out uh, that we don't need 7 cars. They keep telling me, go buy a car. No, where am I going to keep the fucking thing? You're only allowed 2 cars here at this government project. Plus, my car is always getting scratched up or someone's doing something to it. Here, the F would I go and buy another car for? I'm telling you, I'm dealing with a bunch of idiots that stole a lot of money from me, and I'm not happy about it at all either, Mrs. Warren. I agree with you 100%. They caused this, but we caught them. Some of them didn't make it. That's war, Trump. You understand? They took my American piece of pie, and I'm not happy about it. You got all these veterans that could be owning a house. They just got all these homes around here. They want outrageous money. They ain't worth a shit. Excuse my language. And then you determine who's going to have a house and who ain't. Discrimination, racist, all kinds of stuff around here. Let's let this little lady speak.
Owning a home affects the jobs you can get, the schools your children can attend, and the kind of communities you can live in. But for too long, the federal government has been asleep at the switch while the crisis grows. Hundreds of thousands of families are priced out of homes by private equity. Many state and local governments have too many rules holding back housing construction. Young people cannot buy their first homes. Seniors and veterans are being left behind. Homeownership is out of the reach of too many families, especially Black families. We need to act. And that is why I stand here today in support of the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. This landmark bipartisan bill will help tackle the root cause of this crisis by getting more homes built in every community across this country. It will make sure that families own those homes, not giant corporations looking to jack up the rent and squeeze every nickel of profit they can out of American families. House Republicans.
Well, I got a little. I agree with this lady. They raped us. They raped us. Not physically. They raped our pocketbooks. Another thing I'm gonna be smacking in the face, Congress and the government, is credit loans. You want to go into and get $100 loan from a bank, you can get it. You can't walk into a bank and get a loan for $100 anymore. We're going to open up a can of old ass country western whoop ass on this country. We're going back to olden days where you can go in and get a $25 loan from a bank. They don't like it, shut your doors, give us our money back, get out of America. We'll open banks that will give loans to people that are first time home buyers or were shafted from your banks and your mortgage companies and lost everything over a paperwork technicality that was designed to do that, steal your home. So we're doing a lot of things in America, Trump, right underneath your nose, and I can give two shits who is involved or whatever's going on or what. I don't care, man. I told you what is going to be your worst nightmare, Trump, is when you wake up and you got 350 million people ready to grab arms, to bear arms, and come at this government or anybody behind a badge or anyone with authority. And that day is coming real soon. Real soon. We're already within your military. You're not going to use our own military and weaponry on us. We're not that dumb. I agree with Mrs. Warren. I want my 50 million back for my troubles and my time. I want my property back, my acre and a half. I want my house, my cars, and everything. I didn't have to lose everything just to be on your government Medicaid, Medicare that don't pay for an effing thing. Matter of fact, the doctors that only accept Medicaid and Medicare are killers. Do you understand that, President Trump? I hope you do. That means they are doctors for Medicaid and Medicare. And their job is to make sure you never get healed of anything. If not, you're put in the ground because they don't even know how to read a simple thing. So I suggest you folks down there in the government down there, listen to this little lady because that day where the 350 million people stand up to bear arms against a demonic country and government is going to be a great day for us, for the American citizens. And that's what I think that little thing in that mass shooting at that Israel Tower was a message to the White House. That's what I think it was. People don't want your war. We're tired of suffering. They're the chosen people. Let them fight their own wars. There's God. They're God's people. Let them fight their wars. Let God fight their wars.
And should immediately take up this bill and pass it. If they do not, they will have to explain to families across this country in November why they refuse to lower the cost of housing. This is the biggest package of bills to make housing affordable in 30 years. This bill has more than 40 provisions, every single one of which is designed to help increase housing supply and bring down housing costs. Here are just a few of the things this bill will do. It removes regulatory barriers and streamlines environmental reviews to speed up affordable housing development and construction approval processes. It rewards communities that build more housing, and it prods those that are not building to step up and build more. It strengthens the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and the home programs to get more affordable housing built and to permanently authorize the CDBG Disaster Recovery Program to get more money out to disaster-stricken communities faster. It makes it easier and cheaper to build new manufactured housing by removing the outdated chassis requirements, bringing down the cost of a new unit by up to $10,000. It creates an innovation fund, one that I've been proposing for years, to reward communities that are successfully building more housing with new funding for community infrastructure or even to build more housing. It will make long-needed improvements to rural housing programs to preserve affordable housing for 400,000 rural families. It offers new and streamlined funding opportunities for cities and towns to bolster local infrastructure and to convert abandoned buildings into new housing, for homeowners and landlords to make structural homes.
Well, Miss Warren, you are so correct, but I'm dealing with a bunch of Odins and secret societies out here that are supposedly all wrapped up uh, in this dark art shit. And if you don't belong to one of their Mason clubs or Odins or whatever, you ain't gonna get a house in this town or state or anywhere. So that's what we're dealing with here. Is a lot of these people. There was a couple uh, businesses that were Main Street up here for sale, but they refused to sell them to anybody until one of their Masonic Lodge people came into town and wanted to put an effing Dairy Queen in, which we already had a Dairy Queen once there, and it didn't work out, and everybody wanted it gone. And then the same place came up uh, for sale again, and we found out that it was a group of people from Dairy Queen that was trying to lock in, uh, excuse me, and buy the property. And it was a group of real estate guys that have just like monopolized everything around here. If they don't like you around here, you ain't getting a house. Simple as that. If you don't belong to the little Masonic thing, you ain't getting a house. And that's what we're dealing with here in America, President Trump. I don't know where the F you live. You live down there in Florida, whatever. You got tons of money. But that's what it is in Indiana, is some kind of a Mason, Odin, Masonic Lodge thing. And they're into real estate, drugs, prostitution, porn, they're into all kinds of stuff. Right? They literally came and told me if you're not with them, you ain't getting shit done in this town or this state or even in this country. So what we got is a terrorist group, and they're called the Masons, the Odins, and all kinds of them. Trump, I don't know what you. I know your people down there are just screwing you in the butt, Trump, big time down there. Your own people. Uh, but I can tell you this much, buddy. Uh, we're going to do this right in America. These secret society, we got all their names and their wives. Their wives are just as crazy as the men in this Masonic thing here, this Odin Masonic Lodge crap they got going around in these little towns or whatever. You ain't gonna find no mayor. It's a committee. It's like the mafia committee or something. Everyone's looking for the mayor. I'm like, there is no mayor. It's some committee or something. They want their heads, Trump. Do you understand? Do you understand, Trump? How would you feel if you had a disability and you worked so hard to have something and it was stripped from you in a blink of an eye? Everything. Because you were an idiot and had a disability and didn't understand most of this stuff. I bet you'd be dropping bombs everywhere. I ain't dumb. I'm stupid, Trump, but I ain't dumb. There'd be hell to pay in this country if they did that to you, right? And that's the same thing that's happening to these people. Their whole lives were stripped from them over a technicality that should have never been there. And now we investigated it, and we knew before even child rape and Epstein uh, came out and said it. We already knew what banks were involved, And you can talk to your FB about that. Your FBI, they know exactly who I am. All right, let's watch a little bit more of this. I want my house back. I ain't shitting you folks. I got GPS on it. If I have to, I'll blow it up myself, the whole block. The whole block that they stole from me. That was mine rightfully, that I had no idea was mine, even in the wills that they left me. Had no idea. Now we'll level that whole block, Trump. I got capabilities that you've never seen, sir. GPS signal, everything. I'll wipe everything out. You know who I am. Don't you ever come a knocking at the Lord's door and tell the Lord that he ain't taking. We're taking our properties back, whether you like it or not.
Home repairs, and for home builders to finance new manufactured and modular housing. And there's so much more in this bill. This bill supports more.
It sounds like a great bill, Mrs. Warren, but what I want to put and install in your mind, little lady, is these modular homes are full of shit. Do you understand, Miss Warren? These modular homes, no banks will loan on after so long. So the modular home business is going to do a big sink, because that's what I had, Miss Warren. Mrs. Warren, that's what I had, was a double wide modular home on an acre and a half of land. And I got screwed out of it because they said, well, nobody will loan on a modular home that's over so long. So you're pretty much screwed with the mortgage you got. You got to pay it, or you're screwed, because we can't find anybody that'll refinance it because it's a modular home, and they only give loans on homes that are so old, and then they won't give a loan on it. So the modular ways are good, but not if the banks ain't gonna loan on them or refinance them, because the banks find them a risk. Hello, RC, how you doing? I'm right now negotiating with the government for my property house back, and $100 million on top of that for my troubles and harassment and the pain I went through after they tried to kill me. Trump has so much money, it didn't matter how much he screws up. Yeah, it don't matter for him, but it's gonna hurt these people's pockets and the banks, because people are standing up right now. I woke up this morning and they drove a vehicle right through the church. You're going to see a lot more of this happening in America, folks, and the banks will be next. That are not going to, they're not going to starve us out from what the professionals are that came in, the military that came in because the government can't. The U.S. military wants to help us. I talked to them, right? The Pentagon wants to help us, but the laws that are in place, we can't have a conventional war, boots on the ground in America. So we talk to other countries, right? We're like, we're going to ixnay all these. They're going, right? And then we'll bring them country and their banks into America. We're dumb, but we ain't stupid, Trump. My main concern is that I can't smoke a reefer in the garden without a neighbor calling the cops on me. Yeah, well, that's a little bit too bad that they're doing that, because Trump's already legalized it for medical, and we're going to have to start. We're going to be taking all the police cars away from them, all the police, because they're on worse stuff. They're like on this steroid shit or something like that. Steroid. That's where all these cops are getting that rage from. Is that steroid dude that they're putting in? Steroid rage. They're on pills. They drink like fish. Most of the cops in America drink like fish. Severe alcoholism. We're going to be taking all their weapons from the police. We're not funding the police no more. Or the weapons. We caught a lot of them trafficking drugs within their police cars. That's how they've been getting away with this stuff, folks. Murder, too. We're going to be arresting a lot of police for murder one. Murder one, baby. Do you understand? I hope the government does, because we're doing it without your permission, government. We're already doing it. RC said that they're calling out the main concern. Oh wait, I read that one. All the best, their wives. Yeah, they want everything. I told them 350 million people are going to rise up against you. They'll be taking out cops left and right. Anybody that even whispers government, they're dead. That's going to be your worst nightmare. And here it's happening. It's happening. All glory to God. Right? Ding dong, the witch is dead, the wicked witch, the witch o' witch, or whatever it is. But it's happening, folks. You can jump on the board or jump on the train of the crazy train of the government, or you can come over to the Lord's side where I think our last count was 700 trillion soldiers. We're ready. God's army is ready. You just point us in the direction. Whatever is in our way, whether it's church, whether the Lord don't even like his own house. He says it's corrupted by a bunch of crackheads, bunch of illegals and all kinds of stuff. So we're making a pact and we're gonna clean everything up. I don't know what kind of a message you need, government, when people are driving vehicles through schools and churches or whatever, and you know, I think that's a sign that is the American people are done with the crap. Let this little lady talk, Miss Warren. Let her talk.
More housing opportunities for veterans. It takes action to reduce homelessness, and it helps address appraisal bias. And finally, this bill takes a good first step to get single-family homes back into the hands of American families, not corporations. And over
That's just it. Corporations and everybody bought this. You know what the bank told me? They said, Mr. Kramer, we bought your loan. We found it. And I said, where was it? Well, we bought it from this place, or it was sold from this place. It was a fraudulent loan. We couldn't make heads or tails of the paperwork. And it was sold to another title company or a mortgage company, and they turned around and sold it in a giant pack of like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 homes or whatever to another place, and it was just going all around. Right? It was just they were just selling it like crazy because the people that bought it would have their people look at the package of mortgage loans, and they say this is all effed up, and they'd put it in a package and sell a whole bunch of them to someone else. So it was a giant scam that was going on. And then finally one day I called the FBI and I said, I'm going to hit Wachovia. They're like, I wouldn't do that, Mr. Kramer. I said, we're coming in. I called these niggas up. I'm rolling in Wachovia Bank. And they were all pissed at me. I said, we're rolling. I don't know what to tell you. You know, as Dave Chappelle says, which I love Dave Chappelle, you know. I called these niggas down there. I told them I'm rolling up. And that's what I did on Wachovia. Now, this government, I know a lot of people are pissed, but I'm going to get my money plus headaches on top. You understand? I went through hell and high water. These pricks tried to kill me to keep my mouth shut. We're rolling up on you niggas on there in the Oval. The Oval Office and the rest of you. You ain't getting away with this murder, racism, and all the other stuff you idiots have been doing. So I got the whole block GPS right now. I want every property back. Every single one of them, Trump, that belonged to my family. That whole block was owned by my family. I want it back. we'll take it back the hard way. All right, let me see what my chat's saying. Well, this movie's part of it, but don't tell anybody, RC. They had made a police way too political. Yeah, out here they don't give a shit about cops. I think McDonald's tried killing 3 or 4 of them. There ain't nobody that wants anything to do with your bullshit government, police, we'll police ourselves. We're gonna police ourselves. We're defunding the police. We're bearing arms, and we'll police ourselves in this town. We're looking at Angola to strike big time in Angola, Trump. They've been poisoning people out there. Really corrupt out. Well, it's a college town. It's full of drugs. There's people dying like flies out there. They're dying like flies in Angola. So we're going to do this, Trump. I hope they come. We want this war. It's been way too long. We need to get our hands bloody. Been waiting. We got everything GPSed out, Trump. All you got to do is say the word. That's all you got to do is say the word, and we'll hit them from above. They won't even know what's coming, like what happened out there in Texas. Just be a crater in the ground, Mr. Trump. Just give the word. We're ready to hit. Literally, the whole state is surrounded, Trump. I don't know what to tell you. Indiana made some bad calls. Indiana made some very bad calls, Mr. Trump. So bad of calls, I don't think Mike Pence wanted to really tell you what happened in Indiana. But I can guarantee you this, Mr. President Trump. You're going to find a lot more than corn in Indiana. I can tell you that much, baby. And get ready, because it's going to be a hot one this year. I know what you're saying. America's the hottest country. I'm talking, it's hot already, radiation style, baby. You understand? I hope so. I hope these people understand, because it's hotter than a red potato here. People's hair fall, everything, right? That's just the way it is. We knew too much. We knew too much about the government and what they were planning, right? What happened to Mike Pence? I don't know. He boot scoop boogied out of Indiana. There's people telling Mike Pence if they see him on the street, they'll gut him and clean him. And let me tell you something. I believe these guys will do it. We've had enough of the madness, Trump. We want our money back. We want our properties back, our homes, our lives, our health, and everything. You're supposed to be God. Then heal us all. In Jesus' name, Trump. Heal us all. The greatest country in the world that has been paying for everything on this earth, defending everybody. You heal your people first. Oh, great, mighty King Trump. If not, we're going full scale. They are like the kind of no, yeah, they're pretty crazy now. And the more radical they get, the more radical the American citizen gets. Now, either these people will compromise and come to the peace table, or there ain't going to be no peace, folks. Nuclear weapons. I hate to tell you, folks, you don't need a nuclear weapon to radioactive and contaminate a country. You people have been so far lost, led down a wicked, evil way that they did to you in America. It's just horrible. We're going to get our money back. You know, they're crying to me, oh my God, all these people are dying in prison or whatever. Yeah, well, you know, like I said, the American people have risen. Now you got shit to deal with. You got 350 million people that want a piece of the Americans' ass. You understand me? They want a piece of the bank's ass. Do you understand? The American people have spoken. They want a piece of your asses. and we're going to hand them every ass they want.
Overwhelming majority of Americans across party lines want to stop private equity from snapping up single-family homes. And this bill does exactly that. It also makes sure that corporate landlords who don't follow the law pay up, and it invests any money they pay in fines into the home program to build more housing and to help first-time home buyers with direct assistance for down payments, closing costs, and interest rate buydowns. The bill does another thing that is very important. It preserves the power of state and local communities to tackle the problem of corporate landlords, making it harder for families to afford rent and to own a home. The 21st Century Road to Housing Act has overwhelming bipartisan support. It includes the vast majority of bipartisan housing provisions that passed the House of Representatives, and the bill has strong support from the White House. Americans have been clear that they want their leaders to focus on lowering costs. There is no excuse to delay this relief. The American people will be watching. I want to say thank you.
Well, Miss Warren, I want to thank you for that speech. Great speech. Great speech. And you're right, little lady. You are so right. The American people are watching the government. We're watching the police. We're watching the housing development. We're watching the churches. We, the people, are watching everything. You're not getting a free get out of jail card because you got a badge. You ain't getting a free get out of jail card or whatever because you're a politician or a preacher or whatever. It just ain't happening no more, Jack. We steamrolled you. And we just gave you a little taste of what the American people are sick of. We're not going to war with China. We're not going to war with Russia. We're going to war with banks, corrupt authorities, discriminating, racist organizations. And we're bringing in other countries to help us right here in your promised land of America. All glory goes to God, the true King of Kings. And if you people are government and you're under God, then heal us. Now, I'm not going to fall for Bobby's little trick. Most of the people in America would rather have their health. They would give up things like their money, and I ain't giving up shit, Jack. Excuse me, Bobby, Mr. Kennedy. I want my health. I want good food, but I also want what was taken from me. And I'm an idiot. And now I become the poster child of all these retards that you Nazis decided you didn't want to pay for anymore. So you decided you were going to ixnay us, just like your old partner from the 20s and 30s. I don't need to mention his name. I think you know who he is. But I can tell you one thing, we're ready. 100% ready to back the Lord and go into this war against people that claimed they were the Lord's people and claimed that they were church and holy people. We're ready. Let's do this thing, Trump. Let's clean this country properly. You stand beside us and we'll stand beside you. and let's hit everything that gets in our way. If they don't like it, move. For 55 years since the day I came out of this womb of my mother, I've been nothing but tortured, stolen from, held down, no more. We did it. There you go. I did it. Me. All by myself. Of course, with God. This is my movie. I created it. The whole thing. Wrote, directed, scripted. We want our properties back and money on top of it for our troubles and our pain and suffering. All glory goes to God. Let's let Miss Warren have the last word here.
To Senator Tim Scott for his partnership in this historic bill. His leadership made this bill possible, and I am grateful to work with him on an issue that will matter so much to so many families. I also want to note that every single member of the Banking Committee, Republicans and Democrats, added ideas and specific provisions that made it into this bill. I thank them for their thoughtful and creative contributions, and thank them for helping make this a much stronger, better bill. I also want to offer a very special thank you to the local and state officials, including the mayors across Massachusetts and all around the country, who helped shape this bill and then who raised their voices to help get it passed. I also want to thank the advocates who have worked tirelessly to push for more and better housing all across America. So let's get this bill to the House. Let's get it signed into law as quickly as possible. There's no time to spare. Thank you, Mr. President, and I yield the floor.
Great speech, Miss Warren. I agree 100%. 100% with you. That's right. No money down loans, just like our military people get. For it was not for the American citizen that paid for every single soldier. We should get exactly what they get. If they get free, no money down loans, walk in today, don't pay anything on your house for 6 months, then the American citizen that has been flipping the bill for everything, that's me and my people, America's citizens, the working man. Most of these guys got tetanus. Why? Because they worked in construction. Us men don't tell our pains. How many nails have I stepped on through the years working construction, had nails go through my hands and everything? We don't voice our pain. We keep it inside and use it on the battlefield. The American citizen comes first, the working man, the families, the citizens. If there's anything left, then we'll help other countries. But I agree 100% with Miss Warren. You got dilapidated buildings everywhere that you could have rented out. No, you wouldn't have got your $50,000 a month, but you would have got something out of that home. Somebody would have loved that home and took care of it. You banks created your own problems, whether if it was working with the government or not. You got your money plus your property. Now that old thing that old Slick Willie created, Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac and Lending Tree and all that, which was a guaranteed loan. So what did the banks do? They drove us effing crazy. They were calling us and we weren't even late on a payment. They drove people out of their homes deliberately. People paid it. They just had enough to survive and pay their bills. And then they have the bank call. Well, you haven't made a payment in 6 months. The hell are you talking about? I've been making payments. Well, you haven't. It shows that you'd have to go to court and get a lawyer. It sounds like a civil thing. Everything is a civil matter in America. Everything. I can walk up and punch somebody in the face. A cop stand there, and it'll be sounds like a civil thing when it comes to me. That's their biggest thing out of their mouths. It sounds like a civil problem. Civil. It's called corruption. And now it's time for you police to pay for all the corruption you did. Little Joey should have went to prison for murder, but because his daddy was a sheriff, he's hop, skipping, and jumping around out here, and people want to take him out. And I just might let him. Now, you folks have a great day. If the American people haven't sent a message to the government, I don't know what is. I'm dumb. And I picked up on their message that they're sick of the wars, they're sick of the banks, they're sick of everything being so high in price. They're tired of high price gases, and they're getting tired of the government. And when 350 million people bear arms against you, you got problems. And of course, some of us, the countries love me. Other countries love me. If I need tomahawks, if I need certain things to fight this war, they want me to run for president. But I ain't going to. Too busy making this movie on the greatest movie channel ever produced. Real life situations made into a movie. Even my life, which you've already seen. Everyone's seen The Outsiders. Now, you folks have a great day. I got a country to run. I got people to bust. I got banks to take. I got all kinds of stuff I got to do to make this country great again. We're going old school Western, where you can walk into a bank and get a $25 loan. Ah, don't you want 2,500? No, I just want $25 to get me by until I get paid. I'll be back next week to get it, to pay for it. No, we can't do that, Mr. Kramer. You got to take it. The lowest loan we will go is $5,000, and you need to show collateral and all kinds of stuff in order to get that loan. It's just you created the homeless, the madness in America. And now I was hired to fix it. Look out, Oval Office. It won't be long, and I'll be in there. Won't be long, and the American people will be returned their country. And it's going back to the old days where everybody did their jobs. And that's how we conquered other countries, is when this country is all in, there ain't nothing that can stop us. And right now, this country ain't into nothing except for making itself healthy, safe, and our children lacking this bullshit. America is number one in tech. You're full of crap. America is not number one in technology, maybe in war killing technology, but in civilian technology, America is not number one. Trump, I don't know who's telling you your stats, but boy, they got their heads so far up your ass. I think they can pull out that prostate with their teeth if they wanted. Boy, they really took you for a ride, Trump. They really took you for a ride. I think the American people have spoken. We're done with wars. America first. The American working man, families, cities, Communities come first. Indiana, you are surrounded by the biggest military ever created, supplied by military. And either you're going to legalize cannabis or we're going to choke you out. Which one's it going to be, Indiana? Because you're costing me money. I go into Michigan, Chicago, these places, the roads are all done. It's like driving on glass. Communities being cleaned up, all from cannabis. Turn yourselves in, Indiana. We got you surrounded. We prepared. We're military trained, military backed. Turn yourselves in for corruption, for choking out your own people, for covering up operations, for not imprisoning doctors and nurses that should have been in prison. Turn yourselves in. Turn your weapons in your police cars. You're not going to be selling crack out of the cop cars no more. Don't make me bring in my vigilantes. You will not win. You will not win. We ain't going to war with nobody. We got enough war in America. The American people have spoken. We rest our case. You folks have a great day. I do want to thank RC for coming in. He voiced a couple of the good things. He said they all beat their wives. The damn wife beaters. They're wife women abusers. I ain't never hit a woman in my life, although I wanted to. Believe me, some of these broads are done crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I'll tell you that much. They are like Cayenne of no. Yeah, we ain't doing no P. Diddy shit here. We ain't doing no P. Diddy shit here. They have not in this town. Not in this town. They're pissed because I caught somebody spray painting on one of my buildings that I just had a beautiful mural painted on the side of the building of the town back in the 1902 or whatever it was. And somebody came out and tried to tag it. They're all pissed at me. I chopped his arm up. Like I told you, don't you fuck up what my hard-earned people worked very hard for. You want to do that shit, go back to your scumbag cities. You tag one of my buildings out here that one of my working men built from his hands and built for his family. You tag it, we catch you. We're going to turn you into the police, but only after you're missing a digit or possibly a hand. Now, you can get all pissed off. You want, but you ain't going to wreck my people's properties with your gang bullshit tagging. The El Rukins were here, and you know what I did to his hand, Trump? Do you know what I did to his hand? I took a nail gun and I put his hand up on the wall and nailed it to the wall. And then I put a very nice sign under it. This is what happened to the last man that tried to tag my working man's business. Boy, I had everybody pissed at me out here, Trump. They were pissed at me. You keep messing around with me and my people and my properties, and I'm going to pull the old guillotine that we have in the basement of the courtroom here. And the next mother I catch trying to destroy my properties, we will use the guillotine on. And if you don't believe me, go to the courthouse and ask them if they still have the guillotine in the basement of the courthouse. Yes, we do. And we will use it if I have to. I know RC's laughing his butt off. I'm sorry, RC. I wanted to make a lesson out of him. You ain't coming into this town of hardworking people. My businesses, they're mine now because the whole town tried to kill me and I caught them all. I own the whole fucking thing, especially. I'm going to bring Dave Chappelle in and let him walk around out here. Dave called up. He's like, did you see Chappelle talking about Trump? Said he called that nigger and told him he was rolling up in Washington. That was his exact words. I about fell out right there. Chappelle owns a whole town in Ohio. I own this one now. And another thing, Trump. I don't know what you did to my military school out here, but I'm also confiscating that back. Right? And I want my tank back that was out in the front of my military school. And I want my jet that was out in front of my military school. I don't know which one of these effing idiots stole my shit as I was sleeping. All I know is this. I heard a big Huey come over. And before I can get my pants on and get dressed to get down there to the goddamn school, them son of a bitches are already carrying my tank off. Air Vac Mobile. I want my shit back and I want my school back because I got a bunch of little pricks out here that don't listen to shit. So we're throwing them in that school. They're going to learn the hard way. It's the military way or it's the highway. That's what I did, RC. Don't get mad at me, RC. I'm sorry. Not a fan of the thing or the thriving art from the crap graffiti. No, I wasn't happy about it. We just spent a lot of money having this guy, a professional, come out and do this thing. It's the town back in 1990 or 1902 or whatever. Like when the town was first created, there was no roads. All they had was wood planks down and mud everywhere and everything. These little bastards are going to come out here. Yeah, I'm an El Rukin Soko. Yeah, you won't be spray painting with that hand no more, will you? And people were all mad. Blood was dripping down. I'm like, this is how you keep these pricks away. Now people call me. They're like, where do you live? I'm out here in LaGrange. Why don't you stop by and visit me? They're like, we ain't even going into that effing town. I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, what the fuck's running that town? It's so strict. I'm like, we don't play games there. You want to come party, you can come party. But we catch you messing around with our shit. It gets pretty ugly. And the Amish caught a guy just a couple of weeks ago. And they came to me and they're like, we want to turn. I said, what do you guys want to do with them? They're like, well, we have our own ways of dealing with these people, the Amish way. And I'm like, well, what are you planning? He said, this sounds kind of crazy. I'm like, believe me, I'm from Chicago. There ain't nothing crazy I haven't heard about. The Amish out here tie guys down to a chair. And that chair has a hole in the bottom of it. And what they do is they put your scrotum and your sack and your Johnson through that hole. And they cover it in peanut butter. And then they let these goats come up. And they let these goats nibble and chew on it until it's gone. And these goats use their tongues. And it's like razor blades. They're like, by the time we're done with him, this guy's gonna be Sam Sui Suckeye. He's gonna have little peanuts for him. I'm like, hey, whatever you guys want to do is fine with me. That's the Amish way out here. That's how they punish their people. I seen that guy a couple days ago. He was walking pretty funny, but I can tell you this much. I told him, I said, you won't be stealing that green corn no more from the Amish, will you? He said, no, sir, Mr. Kramer, I won't be. I said, yeah. We do things properly. We're not the United States court. We're not corrupt or anything like that, right? We get cases in and out real fast out here, right? You don't need a lawyer. Take your punishment. and be on with your day. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. Of course, it's a movie, so nothing is real. So everybody's pissed off about that. They called the third division on me and everything, got everybody out here, and they're like, it's a nothing movie. It never happened. I'm like, that's what I told them. Even that dude over there told them that. They just didn't want to listen. They're like, well, somebody's got to pay us for our time and everything. I said, you might want to call your local government up here. Get your money out of them. They're idiots calling. They're corrupt. They're like, oh, we know they're corrupt. That's why we're here, Mr. Kramer. Exactly. Exactly, baby. Let's see what RT22 Sunset is saying. Johnny probably eats 9,000 calories a day. No, I don't eat 9,000 calories a day. I was in perfect shape. I know what witch and what warlock stole from me. That witch, that warlock, will be taking a ride very soon. Mama Mincente. I don't know if you know what that means. But if you're Italian, that means you're screwed. Now, I don't know what you folks want to do, but I got to hit the East Coast again until they turn over that witch and that warlock that stole from me. Now, I also have a couple of these, well, witches and voodoo people that, well, being that I was going to decapitate them with my new guillotine that I got from out underneath the courthouse out here, which I own the courthouse. You touch my courthouse, you probably ain't going to make it alive. But little birdie told me before we were getting ready to ixnay his neck-nay, he talked like a wild chicken. Boy, did he start mentioning a bunch of names, and wouldn't you have to know it? I didn't decapitate that person. I let them go because some of the stuff he said checked out. Yep. Checked out. So what are we dealing with? Well, we got you surrounded, Indiana. If you want a war, you came to the right place. I can tell you that much, Indiana. You are surrounded by a big army. And we're talking down south, you're surrounded. We got you covered in Ohio. We got you covered in Chicago. We got you covered up here in Michigan. And we got you covered down in Tennessee, boys. Now, either you turn yourselves in or we're going to ixnay, x-nay, and x-ray this whole state. You make that call, Indiana, because we're already ready, baby. A lot of people are saying they've seen a UFO the other night when we had that big storm come out here. Everyone was like, I ain't never seen anything like that. Did you see it? I was like, yeah. We ain't never had anything like that. What was that thing? It was flashing everywhere. Don't you worry about what it was or what it is or what it could be. You let me handle the aliens. Of course, it was one of my giant alien ships that I had flying around here, but I didn't want to tell anybody, RC. They're all pissed off about that because I got alien ships and everything. They're all pissed off. I'm like, well, you people shouldn't have screwed me and tried to kill me and tried to rape and pillage me and all that. All right, let me see what RC's saying. We got RD22 Sunset in there, a person with Johnny's crappy attitude should only be eating 1,000. I got a beautiful attitude. If I didn't have a beautiful attitude, I'd be screaming my head off. I'd be climbing on the tower that I just had freshly painted. The water tower in town, LaGrange, which I'm going to be repainting to Johnny Kramer's Town of LaGrange. Dave Chappelle, you don't have one of them yet, do you? A water tower with your name on it. Well, I'm going to be the first one. So, other than that, this is the way things are going to be going around in this neck of the woods. Back to you, Mr. Al Roker. Make them beg for mercy. No, I'm not going to make them beg for mercy. I'm going to tell them their days are over with. You won't make it into the court because my court is already jammed up with bullshit cases and baby crap. Uh, you'll be publicly punished in front of the courthouse. Um, and if that means you standing in the shackle tank all day while people throw tomatoes at you or just watch you as they walk by, right? And you have to sit there for 8 hours in the shackles with a sign that says, I can't go along with the program and I am being punished for breaking the law. And that's what we're going to do to you folks. I ain't going to make them beg for mercy. I'm not God or Jesus, RC. I can't. I can't. I can't make them beg for mercy or anything. I'll give them mercy. I'm not that bad of a executioner. I'm not that greedy. I know what pain is because I've been executed. No, I'll let them off probably with just a swat or something on their booty or whatever. Get out of here. All right, and here comes our DR2 Sunset. I'm not eating too much. I'm going to start. I'm starving myself for America. Starving myself for America. So, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. President Trump, either I can take over Wachovia Bank, which I'm thinking about doing, or you can also return my property, my house, my 2 race cars. Right, I had a 1979 Trans Am with T-tops and a 402 Olds motor in it, with a shift kit in the transmission. I also had a 1986 IROC Z28 with the louver hood roof or a hood on it. And it was fire engine red with the silver down the side of it. It said IROC Z28. And that had a 350 with a tune port motor in it and also a chip in the computer. And I had some work done on the transmission. She was a lean main bitch. I'll tell you that much. She'd get up and go. And I want my 2 Labradors back. Everything I had to get rid of the program, where now they're saying, why did you have to do that? Because I was told that's the only way I would ever be able to survive on this insurance program. Can't have nothing. You can't own nothing. Now everything has been stolen from me. I got nothing. And your stupid Medicaid, Medicare program that don't cover shit. I want my money back. And 100-fold on top of it for my troubles and time in Jesus' name. And give our seed his money back too. In Jesus' name. All glory goes to God. That's right. Oh. I want another 100 million on top of it for being attacked by these Odins or whoever these dudes are down there in the Delphi case. Yeah. They tried to say it was me. I'm like, I don't even know where Delphi is. Never even been there. Don't even know. Yeah. We're coming for you, Delphi. We're coming for Indiana. I can guarantee you that. With Tomahawk missiles and everything. They're trying to kill you in Indiana, Trump. They're killing people and saying that they're doing it in your name. They're putting your name on the buildings. We're going to do this for you. Indiana, you're going to find out that there's more than corn in Indiana, you bastards. We done did what they said couldn't be done. We're loaded down, heading southbound. We did what they said couldn't be done. RC, I'm sorry you had to hear all that. I'm really sorry you had to hear all this gibberish. RDR2 sunsets. Sorry you had to hear all that. But I can tell you this much. If you're trying to flatter me, it's not working. Do I go around calling you fat? No. No, I've done all I can for this country. Now the only thing left to do is go around and start collecting my money and my properties. Of Church, I know you're watching my channel, Up Church. You and your squad of goon goggles. Yeah, it seems you owe me some money. I'll be contacting you soon through a video. That video will say you owe me some money. That's what that video will say, Up Church. Keep your ass home. Fire all your people and start over. You should play Red Dead Redemption. If you didn't, I think I got that. Game. I'm not sure. Or wait, did I see it? I think I seen it at the store. I was gonna get it. I was gonna get the Red Dead Redemption thing. It's on 360. That's where I seen it. Was the 360. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this. This is scene 3 of the. Wait, not scene 3. Scene 728. This is scene 728 of the greatest movie ever produced, with more cameras than Uncle Howard Hughes ever had. And I'm going to restore Uncle Howard Hughes's great name, along with Uncle Nikola Tesla and so many of my ancestors. I'm restoring their great names, because without them, you folks wouldn't have hospitals. You wouldn't have electricity or light. Now let me see what RC's saying. Buy the story, and the first one is great. Or but the story, the first one is great. Ain't it on PlayStation 2? My God, I just had some pizza from my mother's. She ordered pizza from a place the other night. And I stopped over there today. And she's like, "You want some pizza?" And I just ate like 4 pieces of it. Now I'm burping like crazy and got the hiccups. Yeah, it tasted good though. It was that thin crust Pizza Hut. Bar style or whatever they call it. Real thin crust. It was pretty dang good. It tasted pretty good compared to a frozen pizza. I had to run over there and I had to do some stuff with my little little brother. Got that all done and everything, and I got to do some more stuff tomorrow over at his place. The youngest brother of the family. I don't know how many brothers, 6 billion brothers or something they're saying. So I'm pretty busy. All right, we're going to end this. We hope all the mods are okay. We hope all the mods are okay and doing okay out there. Uh, God bless you all. And we're on our way to victory in America within the courts. Now, if the government wants to settle out of court, I'll do that. I would rather settle out of court than go through the courts because after listening to all these politicians, that everything is corrupt. If you want to settle out of court, we'll do that, Trump. Either that or there's a mansion down the street for sale. I'm just going to take that over. I'm just going to take that over and you can send me the 50 million. The government said I could have got $100 million, but I'm like, what am I going to do with that? Right? Give it to charity or whatever, and I'll take the 50 million and the mansion down the street and we'll call it even. I will even return the town back over from Johnny Kramer's, LaGrange, Indiana. We're just looking for some tush that's on the side of the water tower. We cut that deal, and I'll return the town over to proper people that I put in place that are not corrupt, and the town will go back to just LaGrange, Indiana. That's it. Other than that, open fire on anything that gets too close to me. I don't care. I got to live too, Trump. There's warrants out for all the police in Indiana and in America. That's right. Till you stop shaking me down, stealing from me, we got warrants that have been signed by an official judge for all these corrupt police officers, politicians, and people in town. No matter what you want to do or how you want to do it, I'm going to get my money and my house back. I want to thank all the guys down at the military resale store that gave me a laser to, and this is a laser for in the field. So when I want something hit, I just point the laser on the building, and all of a sudden, magically, tomahawk comes out from the clouds. That's how we get justice from now on in this neck of the woods. Now back to you, Al Roker. Is there anything RC wants to say? Anything else? RC says the story is better in the first one than the second one of the Redhead or Red Dead Redemption video game. Now, God bless America. All glory goes to God. I don't know what's been attacking me, who's trespassing on me. But Lord, if you can heal these people that are trespassing on me because they're sick, they're scared, they're wounded, if you can heal them in your mighty name, King of all kings, the true peacekeeper, the true peacemaker, if you can heal them and heal me and everybody on this earth, all glory would go to God. It does anyways, it does now, and it will after. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the greatest movie channel on YouTube, the Johnny Kramer Music Movie Channel, and I believe in God. Always have. Even though I acted like a heathen when the devil came a knocking, it was thy King of Kings that saved me, and that's who I prayed to. Amen. And this story is done. We will be back with scene 720. Hold on a minute. 728 tomorrow. Scene 728 of the greatest movie ever produced, made in America. Do I hate President Trump? No. I don't know him personally. He's been lied to. He had no clue what was going on until I told him. He's like, I had no idea. I'm like, now you know. We don't need to go to another country to have a war. Make peace with Iran. We're going to use them to infiltrate our own country, to get our money back from these demonic demons that took it. Our homes, our property, our children. In Jesus' name, amen. All glory goes to God, amen. You folks have a great day. I'll be back.